welcome to Meet the Candidate 2021. My guest today is Renault Evans, candidate for Spokane Valley City Council, and welcome, Ren.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And I told you the first question I was going to ask you on camera was, tell me about your name, because you have an unusual name.
Yes. It's actually my father's name, and we have some French ancestry, and he just passed it along to me. And what I told you before too, it's kind of funny. For most of my life, I thought there were a bunch of there were many Frenchmen over there with a Renault as the first name, but then I found out actually most of the time that's the last name. But I like it. It works.
Yeah, it's as someone who has a slightly unusual name, I can appreciate how that works too.
Yeah.
So, Ren, my first question is always, tell me about where you grew up and went to school.
All right. Well, I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, actually, and went to public schools there, and then back in the 90s, my dad had been stationed at Lackland, Lackland, not like Fairchild, and so he got used to the area, and he loved it out here, and we bought land, and eventually we all moved out here back in the 90s, and ever since I left the Chicago area, I never looked back, and I've always thought of this area, this part of the country, as my home now.
Well, Fairchild Air Force Base has brought a lot of people to the area who stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you do any other education or training after public school?
Yes, I did. Actually, in 1998, I earned a Bachelor of Arts in Education from Eastern Washington University. And
Okay.
I worked as a school teacher including substituting, full-time 10 years, substituting 3 years, so total of 13 years.
It sounds like you're doing something else now.
I am. I'm working for a bank. For now, if it's all right, I'd rather not say the name of my bank.
That's fine.
But I work for actually one of the highest-rated banks in the world, and before the pandemic, they were top 5 as far as earnings, and they were number 1 as far as metrics, as other things than earnings. So they're one of the largest banks. I work as what's called a service advisor.
Okay, so worked on to a second career.
Yeah.
Well,
Education was good for a while.
one of the other questions I like to ask folks is, so tell me about your very first job where you first got paid for your efforts.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that was high school, and that was with J.C. Penney, actually. And what they had back then is they call these people 6 O's, a 6-0 digit, 6 digits 0. And our job was to, when people would order something, we would have to go to the little warehouse there, the on-site warehouse with J.C. Penney in the mall where I worked, and I would have to go and get what they ordered out of the warehouse and bring it to them, help them load it in their vehicles. That was my first paid job.
Okay. Was that at the Spokane Valley Mall?
No, that was back before I even moved out this way.
before you
That was
moved this
back
way.
in the 80s. Yeah.
Okay. So what brought you to Spokane Valley?
Well, as I said, I had worked as a school teacher. Most of that time, actually, I worked in the Southwest in the state of New Mexico, and back in 2011, my wife and I we kind of grew apart, and we ended up getting divorced, and she moved back here with our children. After being down there away from my children, I got tired of that. So eventually I moved back here in 2014. And then I met the lovely lady I have now, who is my wife. And we actually got married back in 2015. And just so happens she already owned a home in Spokane Valley. It's funny, when I moved back, I remember driving through I-90 and thinking, man, I love this place. Would like to live in the valley specifically, because at first I lived out in Cheney. Cheney's nice, but I like the valley better. And so it worked out really well, and so here I am.
Here you are in Spokane Valley.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to run for public office?
I just felt really strongly compelled. I want to represent, everyday, hardworking people. Something, regardless of the political party, something has always bothered me is injustice of any kind towards any people or people group, and and I just believe people who work hard should get a fair shake, and I think regular people, our voices should be heard. I've never been in politics before, but I want to represent everyday hardworking people.
Well, this is a place where a lot of people get their first taste of politics is on their local town and city councils. And so you've taken on quite an undertaking. And I've warned you we're coming to that last question, which is it's the candidate elevator speech. Answer the question, why should people vote for Renault Patrick Evans for Spokane Valley City Council?
All right, thank you. Well, first of all, I will say, I'm not doing this to enrich myself in any way. And in fact, when we candidates sign up, we have to designate whether we're going to receive a certain like over $500 for donations or under, and I did under because I don't really want to receive money from people. So basically, I can't be bought, and I'm honest, and I believe in fair play, and I think that I think from my sense of how things are in Spokane Valley, I think I speak for a lot of people there. There's what I see is there's just a lot of hardworking people, and we don't mind paying some taxes for things, but maybe taxes are getting too high. So I think we should try to get taxes down. I think we should also work to improve property rights. I think there's some areas where we could do better for people because of the Growth Management Act and Forest Practices Act. So I think that's something I'd like to work on. And I guess you could say I really want to be a voice for the little man or, like middle class people too, because the middle class, I think slowly but surely we're getting squeezed, where we're paying more and more and maybe our taxes aren't quite going so much towards what's helping us. So I think these are all good reasons to vote for me, and I'll listen to my constituents.
Okay, well, Ren, good luck on your campaign, and glad you could come in to join us today.
Thank you. I'm so glad that I could be here. I appreciate you scheduling this time for me.
What does it mean to be awake? It means to truly understand the issues facing us and actively participate as a citizen in this country. One way you can do that is by voting your values, based on the Word of God. We believe We Vote has done the research and provides you the information you need to make an informed decision on which candidates will champion our values and work for us. Now is the time to rise up, get involved, and vote. WeBelieveWeVote.com.
Hello, Spokane. This is Governor Mike Huckabee. I'm going to be speaking at We Believe, We Vote's October 2nd fundraiser. It's more important than ever for Christians to come together and to vote. I'm looking forward to seeing you on October the 2nd of this year. For tickets to the event, go to WeBelieveWeVote.com.